Hello everybody and welcome to a new YouTube video. Offlane tier list 7.36C, right guys? C? We're not in B anymore. Or is it B or C? Someone help. Chat will know. I'm too old, I don't remember letters anymore. I am not the greatest offlaner. It's my second favorite core role. This is mostly going to be my experience playing against certain heroes that I haven't played in a while, and playing a lot of the heroes myself. So keep that in mind. And again, these are my opinions. Some jabroni, I won't use any bad words, on the mid-tier list was like, wow, this tier list is just his opinion. It's not even factual. Duh? Like, sorry, make your own fucking tier list then. God bless. So, first, we're going to put Beastmaster in S tier, hacking and cheating. I think sometimes in high rank games, Beastmaster gets shut down in lane. They actually counterpick him. They invade his stacks. It can go rough sometimes. 99% of the time, if it's not a high rank game, he has 15-minute Ags blink and half a BKB and just runs the game over. It's like you can't play against it no matter what you do. He just one-shots everybody on the screen. He heals infinitely. He's super broken. Farms really fast. The facet that when you activate your aura adds more damage amp from the Q, like the axes, is really fucking powerful. Very good hero. Very good hero. Alk. Hey guys, just a friendly reminder that 77% of you aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you do want more content and want to be up to date with the latest and greatest Dota 2 content out there on the YouTubes, please subscribe. Thank you. Have a good day. We're not going to include Alk. I think I've seen him more of a support than an offlaner this patch. Axe, I think he's good in most games. He's definitely fell off, like, really hard. At the beginning of the patch, he's probably the most broken offlaner, maybe tied with Legion Commander and Sand King. They were all hacking and cheating. Now he's just okay. He might honestly be closer to C, but I think you could pick Axe most of the time and be happy, as long as Ursa is banned. I think the most popular carry this patch is like CK Ursa, the carries rather. Lifestealer's not popular anymore, at least I don't see him very much. You really don't want to play Axe against Ursa. Just keep that in mind. Beastmaster doesn't like care about any lane really, but that'd be the only thing to think about. Broodmother is okay in the right game. I think it's way better as carry, like unbelievably better as carry. It's very similar to mid, where like you don't really want to be brood mid, you want to be brood carry, and putting it in the other lanes opens you up to a hard lane sometimes. If brood gets a good lane, she normally carries. There's a lot of heroes mid that beat her really hard. And like if you are brood versus Ursa, like I'm saying, or Chaos Knight, and you just have a really hard start, it could be really bad. Whereas in the safe lane, I feel like there's no bad hero matchups really. Darkseer, also hacking and cheating. You just become an Aura bot, Greaves, sometimes Pipe, Crimson. You copy their carry late game. Copying their carry is great. When you have the Aghanims, you turn into a stun bot that stuns their carry and makes him hit himself. Very powerful. Not to mention, the main reason this hero is giga viable right now is the 4 gauntlet start with the innate ability that gives you intelligence based off how much extra strength you have. Makes you hit for like 80 damage level 1 as a universal hero. And you can go movement speed against harder lanes or attack speed against lanes that you can punish. And the attack speed feels really nice if you can actually bully the lane. You just deny and CS every creep, harass them really hard, end up diving them under the tower later with a big wave or something like that. It feels good. Doom, I don't know if I should put it in C or B. I'm going to go with C. I think if other heroes like Darkseer and Beast are banned, and you need an anti-healer guy, he can work pretty well. I've had mixed success with this hero on my team or against it. It still feels really strong when you get to like Octarine Refresher late game. The early game can be a little weak sometimes. I don't want to like go full alphabetical order. I would normally put Enigma and S, honestly, as an offlane right now. I think he's just a little weaker than Beast and Darkseer, and it's a little harder to play. And if you do play against a gyro by accident or something, it can be like a really hard lane. I think 99% of the time, if you pick this blind, you're going to crush your lane and just snowball the whole game. But there are some bad matchups for him, and if you don't crush your lane, you're generally weaker in the mid game than Beast and Darkseer. Yeah, what Spitfire said in the chat is true. Enigma and Underlord need really good fours. I was gonna put Underlord right next to Enigma, so we'll just do that now, if I can find him. I think Underlord is one of the strongest heroes in the patch when he has a good early game, but securing that good early game is much harder to do than being Darkseer or Beast. Both Beast and Darkseer can go back to an Ancient stack if their lane is bad. They can recover a little bit. Underlord against Ursa, ugh. You know, like, you better have a really good 4 with you, and they better have, like, a kind of a meme 5. It really is more support dependent, but I would still say they're good every game. Even in games where you're having a tough lane, you'll still be able to kind of play. It just won't be the same, like, it just won't feel like you're cheating, like you're playing Darkseer or Beastmaster. It feels like you can always win at any point of the game. What other offlaners are we missing here? Let's pick a really bad offlaner. What do we got? Let's see. Maybe there just isn't that many bad offlaners right now. Necro or Brew? Batrider? Brew is really good, I think. Honestly, I'm looking at a lot of these offlane heroes. The offlaners are spoiled, man. It's crazy. I'm going to put Centaur down in C. You could maybe put him B. I think other heroes with similar toolkits like Axe are a little bit stronger. Or... here's one. You pick Bristleback for fun, maybe even if you hate yourself, but we'll put him in the fun tier. Centaur got nerfed a lot. Like, honestly, he got similar nerfs to, like, Axe and Sand King in them. They were just a little less, like, impactful because he wasn't as broken. But he got nerfed a bit too hard, in my opinion. I think he could use, like, a little bit of a buff, honestly. I'm not sure how. Like, maybe give him the extra strength on his talent back, or the full... I think they nerfed the movement speed on the movement speed facet. Or if they buff the double-edge facet. The double-edge facet feels pretty bad. It just feels like you have to get it over the movement speed one if you're laning Ursa or something, so you can run away and buy boots. Thoughts on SK? SK is apparently really good right now. I don't have too much practice with or against this hero, but I think it's honestly, like, very high pick rate, very high win rate right now. I've seen people either go auras, like they'll get the Greaves in the pipe, or they'll rush up Bloodstone and, like, play like Leshrac. It has a very high win rate with the Sand Shroud one, the one that makes you invisible. They max Sandstorm a lot of the time, and they just get really tanky and in your face. They don't go for Ags. Ags does make you a little tankier, but Shiva's Bloodstone, or, like, Greaves Pipe, Bloodstone, Shiva, stuff like that, it's very difficult to deal with this hero. It feels like he's too tanky. I don't know how to explain it. He's just constantly in your face. The Sandstorm got buffed in damage, I think, as well recently. I'm not exactly sure. I think Sand King's in a really good spot right now. The Ags is just kind of useless, and people aren't really buying it anymore, which is fair. Magnus, I think this is pick for fun. Somebody who's better at Magnus could convince me otherwise. Like, maybe you can move up to C. I just don't think you want to be Magnus offlane. I think all the other offlaners have stronger laning phase. They farm faster. They do more with farm in the early to mid game. Obviously, not much compares to, like, Refresher RP late game with, like, giving cleave to somebody. But until late game, you would much rather be any of the other heroes above him for sure. Any of them. Yeah, Kunkka, that's one. That's one we can put in the for fun tier. Where's he at? So, actually not even the for fun. If you hate yourself, pick Kunkka. Here's what they've done to Kunkka over the past, like, 4 patches or so. They made his water park completely useless. It's just like cosmetics on the screen. It just looks really nice. And they buffed his Tidebringer, which no one's had a build viable for like 6 years now. Like, they keep trying to make Tidebringer a thing, and it's just not a thing. And yeah, Torrent Storm went from one-shotting everyone on the screen through BKB to being like sort of balanced, still really strong because if it's a good team fight spell, to like pretty bad, and then nerfed again. So it's just completely unplayable, honestly. Yeah, it's really never been a thing since the cleave changes. I don't know what they can do to Tidebringer to make it better. They have the facet that like recharges it or something, or it's his innate. I don't remember if it's innate or facet, where it like recharges the more heroes you hit. No one cares. It does nothing. They need to make it pure damage again or something if they want people to play around it. People are just way too tanky for you to do the like I'm gonna one shot them with my Tidebringer build. Let's see, Brewmaster. I think if you're really, really, really proficient in Brewmaster, you can move him up to A. I think you'll be fine if you pick this hero literally every game. I would say that it requires a lot more finesse if you don't snowball. So the way Brewmaster works, in my opinion, and I wish like Monkeys or somebody was in the chat that's played a lot of Brew to like reinforce this, but my idea of this hero is you get fast like Radiance Manta or Radiance Ags, and you're really strong as 5, and then your split kind of falls off a little bit when the carries get strong, and you start using your ult like late game to split push more often. You go for like Octarine Refresher, and you start split pushing during the fight. But the Radiance aura is insanely strong in the early game with the split, and until your split can't do it like that no mo, you're very, very impactful in every single team fight engagement. It just definitely feels like a hero that in team fights specifically falls off a little bit later on. A lot of being good at Brewmaster as well is just reading what his passive does. There's a reason why everyone maxes it first. I still haven't read his passive, so every time I play against the hero, I'm completely confused and bewildered by him like, wow, he had 49 billion% status resist that time, or wow, he's running really fast. Direct quotes from me when I play against it. Yeah, this hero is about being on the right passive when they jump you and then getting your ult off, having your team sit behind you, or it's less about like jumping in first with the ult usually. You kind of want to be debating them a bit. And then eventually, if that strategy is still working and they don't have something to deal with your split, you can still buy an Aeon disc to just like always be debating them. Otherwise, if they can burst you, like they have Bloodthorn, Nullifier, Hex or something, you kind of just have to rat at that point. Like I feel like once that playstyle stops working, you have to do something else. The Fear is great at 25 as well, but there usually is a time between that where it's not that good. Also, you can't use the Fear during your ult, so let's like look through these. I think Dawnbreaker is also pick for fun. Death Prophet, I think it's very close. I think Death Prophet could be C tier. I haven't seen it that much. It just feels not good. There's like other ranged heroes I would pick before Death Prophet. So like we'll get into some ranged offlaners. A lot of these have been melee. In fact, every single one except Enigma has been melee. As far as ranged offlaners go, I think Necro is a little better than Death Prophet, and I don't believe in Necro that much. I think Razor, where's Razor at? Razor is about the same as Necro. Maybe you can move him up to B, but he's like a little stronger than Necro, and you need to definitely have a melee 4, which is not always the case. Like besides Tiny, there aren't that many good melee 4s. Like Clock, I guess. Phoenix offlane is probably good every game. If you're a Phoenix player, you can play it as 5, 3, 4, even 2. So literally anywhere. I don't know anything about the brew facets, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know which one people get. I think they just get the rolling boulder one that like makes it easier to do damage. Tiny, I wouldn't say he's hacking and cheating as offlane. I think you can pick it every game first pick, no matter what. The best hero on the patch by far. Definitely better as mid or 4. Even like as 5 and 3, it's like meh. Definitely not as carry anymore. Tide. There's one more range hero. Okay, this one you pick if you hate yourself. There's one more range hero I'm forgetting. Not Weaver, but I will include him. Wind Ranger, that's the one. I think if you want to be a off-lane range hero, aside from Phoenix, Wind Ranger's the go-to. Like, I'd rather be Wind Ranger than Razor, and they both kind of serve the same purpose to me. Venge as well. Venge and Wind Ranger. Actually, Venge is definitely better than Razor. There you go. Most of the time in my brain, I don't think about Venge as offlane when I'm about to select my offlane hero. I think of like Wind Ranger and Razor, and then even if I'm against Troll Warlord or something and Razor seems really good, I tend to pick Wind Ranger over Razor because of the nerfs. Snapfire, I don't think is a 3. I think it's exclusively a 4. Now, there's probably one guy out there in the world who plays it as 3 and does okay on it, but you don't want to be that one guy. So let's move on from him. I think Visage is definitely C tier. If you're a Visage spammer, move this up 1 or 2 tiers, honestly. Like, if you play nothing but Visage, you're going to have much more success than anyone else. Part of what makes this hero good is the laning phase and the fact that nobody knows how your hero works. So if you play it too often against the same people, it's going to stop working as much. But there's a lot of, like, just surprise factor, kind of like Arc Warden, where, like, people just feed to you in lane because they don't know, wow, the W does so much damage, or wow, he didn't die because of Gravecleaper's cloak. High C, yeah, we can put him higher than Doom. I think if I were to order them, it'd be something like this. Yeah, Visage players are scary because we all don't know how their hero works. Yeah, this will be a YouTube video. Weaver, honestly, like, I'm not the biggest fan of Weaver offlane compared to support or carry, but it'll do the job, and the hero's busted. If the hero wasn't busted, it'd be like in D tier, but that hero's just busted. At level 2, it has 3 spells. That's not fair. That hero is busted in lane. The facet's pretty good as well. Wyvern, honestly, probably like bottom of C tier. Maybe it's higher. I don't know. I don't think Timber's an offlaner right now. I think Pango is... My heart wants to put him in A tier because of how good he is in competitive play, but I feel like B tier at best for most ranked games. So that's what I'm going to go with. That's what I feel like in my heart. You can argue with me over that if you want, but you can't argue with my heart. Sorry. Tide. I think Tide's probably pick for fun. Timber's probably also pick for fun. Maybe you can move up to C tier. I don't think Timber's good against Heralds. I could be wrong. We might not even get to put that many into Herald Superstar Division. I want to put Primal on the list too. I'm not sure where I would put Primal. I think I'm like part of the problem. I picked this hero offlane because I like the hero, but it's honestly not that good offlane. If they have a Pangolier, it's like it goes up 4 tiers. Like if they had a Pangolier on their team every game, it's A tier. Because you just pick up Pango during his ult, and his whole hero revolves around the ult right now, and the shield crash. So just, like, countering that is enough. But in most games, like, it's good against Ursa to pick Primal Beast, but not in lane. So you'd want to be middle on Primal if you're against Ursa, because his ult does not care about status resistance. Very good against status resistance. Primal's like, good mid, but I really don't think he has many good lanes in the offlane. DK? Oh, I don't even know if DK is an offlane right now. We'll put him with Primal. I think it's pick for fun right now. What heroes am I forgetting? Pudge? Probably wouldn't play Pudge offlane. Legion's Herald Superstar Division. Now, if I'm being honest with you all, Legion can probably fit somewhere up here. I just don't think the hero is very good after all the nerfs. I haven't seen it win once, but it will drop Fat Wang off in Herald, like 100%. So keep that in mind. The lower in MMR you are, the better the hero will be. Where is Mars? I think it's very close between C and D for Mars. Mars has a pretty bad win rate, to my knowledge. But it's very, very still... Like, it's still very good at pickoffs and team fighting. The problem with Mars is you have to be really good at laning, okay? Like, really, really good at laning. So, if you're not, like, if your lane goes bad, you're completely useless most of the time until late game. Like, your team has to carry you to get the blink BKB, and you have to land really good spears. Now, if you're good at laning and good at landing the blink spears, the hero's, like, super strong. But you have to be very, very good at Mars to make him work. Slardoggy Dog... I don't know. Has this hero been picked as much since the nerfs? Even Night Stalker, I don't know. It's got nerfed a lot. I'm going to put Night Stalker in B, but I'm also not sure about it. I think Night Stalker was S or A before the nerfs, but he got nerfed pretty hard. I also beat a Night Stalker today, so... Wraith King is not an offlane hero. Actually, you know what? Wraith King is an offlane hero. Herald Superstar Division. Wraith King offlane's not bad in Herald. What else are we missing? Coddle's not an offlaner. Bat's not an offlaner. Londred's not really an offlaner. You could play it there, but it's not an offlaner. Lycan's not an offlaner anymore. I mean, we'll put this here too. I think like these heroes scale and are basically carries that can go off lane. They'll do really well in low MMR games. Pudge is an offlane. I feel like if you're lucky enough for Pudge to make it through the first drafting phase without everyone else in the game picking it before you, yeah, you can play it off lane, but it's better as a carrier mid too. So I don't know. Spirit Breaker, not an offlaner, I don't think. Herald offlaner for sure. Time Zone Faceless. CK is a carry. Don't pick CK offlane. You can if you're Herald. Undying, I wouldn't even pick that in Herald. Shaker. Here's the problem I have with Shaker, okay? I don't think Shaker's a bad hero right now necessarily. Tiny's mid or support, maybe offlane just because it's broken. Alchemist is not an offlane. Full strength morph? No, we're not doing that. Ogre, we're not doing that. I've lost every game I've ever seen an Ogre offlane on my team. We're not doing that. Abaddon's not an offlaner. Okay. The problem with Earthshaker is... Okay, we'll put him in pick for fun. The problem with Shaker, every lower MMR offlaner I've coached on Shaker farms a blink or an Ags and then never touches a creep again, and they become a support. It's not supposed to work like that. If people were good at it, I would recommend it for Herald, honestly. But they just like they just turn into a support after the lane every time in Herald that I've seen an Earthshaker offlane. Huskar's not an offlaner. ET and Abaddon are offlane enough? No, sorry. Don't pick it offlane. Fight with me in the comments over it. Don't care. Dazzle? Nah. I think that's all of them, no? We'll put this one here. We'll make a new tier, actually. Hold on. Add row below. We need a different color. We'll put it in gray. Jenkins. I wish I could copy the Shadow Fiend many more times. We'll put these in the Jenkins tier, okay? Let's see, what else does Jenkins like offlane? Puck? Does he play Puck offlane? Pudge, yeah, Pudge. It's true. Natures. These are the Jenkins tier heroes, okay? Yep, Slark. Heard that. I don't know if there's another Jenkins here. I'm forgetting. Quap is probably... He's probably played offlane Quap. I wouldn't put it past him. I don't know if I've seen it, but I think it's in his repertoire. Storm and Ember. All right. We'll put them all there. Oh, yeah. Sniper as well. Sniper actually moves up in the Jenkins tier list right here. I wouldn't consider Marcia hard anything. I think she's fine as a carry with Wisp. I think she's fine as a 5. I think she's fine as a 4. You really want to lane with a ranged hero, though. So there aren't too many ranged cores that are popular, right? Like Phoenix doesn't really count. You really want to have like the Venge or the Weaver or the Wind Ranger. Most of the time, you're just going to get some big strength melee guy as like 1 or 3, so it's kind of hard. But yeah, that is it for the off-lane tier list. I hope you all enjoyed. Please comment, like, subscribe. If you don't, my grandma will be stuck in the cage. She's in a cage right now because you all are not subscribed to the channel. Thank you. Thank you for watching.